In the 3.5 years since the U.S. invasion of Iraq, sectarian violence there has never been worse. With that as a backdrop, the bipartisan Iraq study group, led by former Secretary of State James Baker, is working to finalize a set of strategies for Iraq. The New York Times says the panel's draft report recommends aggressive regional diplomacy, including talks with Iran and Syria. Analyst Michael O'Hanlon has his doubts about that approach.
We have to lower our expectations about what Iran and Syria could deliver, even if they wanted to. So it may not be an idea to be rejected out of hand, but I would bet anything that President Bush will do what Steve Hadley, the National Security Advisor, recently suggested, and say that even if he goes along with this, that he wouldn't want anyone to think that talking is a strategy. It's not.
While the violence rages, the administration and the military continue to claim Iraq is not in a civil war.
What we have right now, what I would tell you is we have violence that are on unacceptable levels at the moment. That occurred last week. It had been on a downward trend for about 4 solid weeks.
By any reasonable definition, we have to say it's a civil war, even though it's not yet an all-out civil war.
The U.S. has now been in Iraq longer than it was involved in World War II. And analysts and others say the increased violence underscores that the window for finding a solution is closing.
We're going to have to act fast. We're losing the war. And every month of further carnage means more top officials get assassinated, more doctors and lawyers and businessmen leave the country for good, more Iraqis become cynical about the prospects for any hope.
The mission meeting comes as the administration steps up the diplomatic push to try to bring stability to Iraq. The president is meeting later this week with Iraq's Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki, and he has made clear he is getting input on how best to proceed from more than just the Iraq Study Group. He is also awaiting reports from both the National Security Council and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Jerry Bodlander, The Associated Press, at the White House.